Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Brand New Vegan. Another Saturday, another live. When you get here, please be sure and check in, leave me a comment, let me know you're here, where you're from, that kind of thing. You can also hit that like button and let me know you're here. There we go. There's a like. Happy Saturday, everyone. There's Brenda. Very quiet sound. Okay. We try that up a little bit. It sounds good on my headphones. How's that? Is that better? Good morning, LM. So testing 1, 2, 3. Audio. Is that better? Yes, no, maybe. I see a like. Good morning, Mary from Colorado. Hi, Amelia. Good morning, Lisa. Hi, Janice. Hi, Linda. Oh, thank you, Brenda. Wichita Falls is here. El Paso. Nice. Hi, Mom Caregiver. Hi, Debbie. Good morning. You know, I was at El Paso one time, and I took Rhonda. It was around her birthday. This was years ago. And we went to a concert. That was the last concert I went to was in El Paso. It was the Eagles and their Hell Freezes Over tour. Cold Iowa, but sunny. Nice of me, Ma. We are cloudy and rainy and stormy kind of here. Temperatures like, what is it? I'm looking. There we go, 42. Ooh, it warmed up a degree. So yeah, 42 degrees here in the Pacific Northwest. I am in Oregon. And if you've never been here, I am Chuck. We do this cooking show every Saturday on YouTube. Of course, I'm from Brand New Vegan. A quick announcement before we get started. If anybody is going to be in this Portland, Vancouver area tomorrow, I will be live at Northwest Veg in Hillsboro, Oregon, in the Orenco area for a presentation. I'm giving a talk on everything you want to know about chili peppers and why they're so good for you. So if you're in the area and you want to stop by and meet me and say hi, come on down. Bring some food, vegan food, and bring a plate, bowl, utensils, that kind of thing. 48 degrees in Wichita Falls. Yeah, ooh, same as here. That's chilly this morning. I'm kind of cold, so I'm gonna start cooking and warm this room up a little bit. Today we're making something from my original ebook. I wrote an ebook way back when, 2015, 2016. It was called Soup, Stews, and Chilies. It is part of Chef AJ's 2024 Health Bundle. So if you haven't bought the bundle and you're interested, I did put the link down below. What the bundle is a collection of ebooks and courses and meal plans and a little bit of everything from over 140 different vegan contributors. Dr. McDougall has a course. Dr. Furman's in there. Mick the Vegan from YouTube is in there. My friend Kathy Hester has some recipes. I have my ebook in there. There's all kinds of stuff in there. It's like $8,000 worth of products, and it's $49. So the link's down below if you want to check it out. Buy it if you want. If you don't, that's fine. If you want to buy it from somebody else, that's okay too. And it ends tomorrow. So today's almost the last day. But in my ebook, I had a recipe for hot and sour soup. And it's way different than the recipe that's in my cookbook. And by the way, this is the cookbook that I came out with last Christmas. I still have some available. Links down below. But I like this cookbook version of my hot and sour soup better than the ebook. So if you have the ebook and you want to make hot and sour soup, I got a link to the recipe on my blog down below too. I would use that instead of this. It's not bad, it's just way different. I made it a lot simpler in the cookbook. I really did. In the ebook, it calls for a bunch of green onions. I do have that. It calls for an entire yellow onion dice. I don't do that anymore. We do need about a pound of mushrooms. I'm using powdered ginger instead of fresh. I'm leaving out the bamboo shoots. I'm using an entire block of tofu instead of a half. I've cut the 1/4 cup of soy sauce and rice vinegar down to 3 tablespoons each. I've cut the veggie broth from 4 cups down to 2. The water from 2 cups down to 1. I am adding some white pepper and a little bit of hoisin sauce. That's the difference. I haven't made this version in a very long time. So let's make the cookbook version. Very, very simple. And that's probably why I changed it. It says the very first thing you want to do is drain your tofu and wrap in towels, cover with something heavy, and press it for 5 to 10 minutes. I didn't need to do all that because I have my handy dandy tofu bud press. And you can see if I can get some camera angles here. Try another one. There we go. I'll put this right here. That's my tofu press. It's not going to be focused. It's got a spring right here on top, and it's pushing this plate down, pressing the tofu. There's a little gap underneath. That's where all your water's at. So this thing works really well. I've had it for a couple of years. We use it all the time. I included an Amazon link down below if you're interested. People talking about the cookbook or the bundle. Okay. So rinse and destem the mushrooms. I did that. Set aside. And I have my mushrooms right here. I have 2 kinds. I have some little baby portobellos right here. And I have some shiitake right here. This was about an 8-ounce package. This was about a 6-ounce package. It says bring the veg broth and water to a slow boil. So this calls for 2 cups of low sodium veggie broth and a cup of water. And I already have that pre-mixed right here. I'm just going to dump this in, hopefully without making a mess. There we go. So all this hot and sour soup is really is a flavored broth with mushrooms and tofu. If you don't like mushrooms, I'm sorry. It's probably not the recipe for you. I'm going to put this on medium. Yeah, that'll work. Do I have something to get my station ready here? That tofu press works great and it's so easy to use. Yes, tofu bud. I love it. I really do. And the thing is, I pressed it last night, just stuck it in the fridge. So it's been pressing all night long. There you go. Move the coffee. So to the broth, I am going to go ahead and flavor it first. I'm going to add some soy sauce. In my case, I'm using tamari because it's gluten-free. About 3 tablespoons. There's 1, 2, 3. I do have some green onions here. I separated the white parts from the tops. The tops I'll save for a garnish. The white parts I chopped and diced. I'm going to add these to my broth. Again, we're just flavoring that broth. What else? I got some garlic. I'll add that. Couple cloves of garlic, finely minced. If you want to add some ginger, you can. The original recipe called for fresh ginger. I'm just going to use some powder because it's convenient. Again, I want this to be super easy. About 1/8 of a teaspoon of ginger. And a key ingredient for this is white pepper. White pepper, not black. So I got about 1/8 of a teaspoon. I'm going to stir that up a little bit. I'm going to bring that to a boil. Okay, so Brenda said the original version of the recipe sounds good too. What page are we on in the cookbook? 17, Debbie. And thank you, Lisa. Carol has 2 tofu buds I use every time I meal prep. The recipe's in the main dish Asian, not the soup and stew section. Yes. Been a busy couple of days while I wait for this to come to a boil. I'm on medium high here. My grandson had a basketball game last night. We had to drive all the way across town to watch him lose, come all the way back. And then I had to prep. This is bright. There we go. That's better. So yeah, I meal prepped all last night when I got home. Today is our YouTube show, obviously. And then later on today, I have to finish my presentation for Northwest Veg by tomorrow night and start taking pictures for this week's blog post recipe. It comes out tomorrow morning. I have something I think you're going to like. It's brand new. I'm actually taking it to the potluck with me tomorrow. And what I made is a cultured cream cheese, chipotle flavored cream cheese. I'm stuffing some little mini peppers with that chipotle cream cheese as an appetizer because I'm talking about chili peppers. So I have chipotle in the cream cheese and I have the little mini peppers. They're really good. The thing with the cream cheese though, it takes a few days to make. And I want to give a shout out to my buddy Adam from cinnamonsnail.com. Incredible vegan chef. He helped me a lot with that recipe. I modified basically his recipe a little bit, with his permission, of course. If you've never heard of Cinnamon Snail, I really recommend you look them up. Completely vegan, Not oil-free, not McDougall, nothing like that. They're not whole food, plant-based, oil-free like we are, a lot of us are. But he is vegan. He's more of a animal activist than anything else. But he had the #1 restaurant in New York City at one point. The #1 restaurant. And it was a vegan restaurant. So, pretty incredible guy. A thumbs down. Somebody didn't like what I just said. Oh well, sorry. If you like what I'm talking about, if you like my cooking, give me a thumbs up instead. That would really help. Don't forget to subscribe. That also helps YouTube and the algorithm and all that stuff. Put this in front of people who need to see it. So my broth is coming to a boil. I'm going to go ahead and add my mushrooms. I'm going to add the shiitakes because I really like them. And they will shrink down. There we go. Looking good. Where's my favorite little paddle? I thought I brought it down here with me. I guess I didn't. While I'm cooking that, I'm going to go ahead and cut up my tofu. I may not use this other thing on mushrooms. I may and I may not. I'm going to see how far those cook down. That's the thing with any of my recipes, if you haven't noticed. They're really easy to adapt. Depending on what you got, what you're doing. So with this tofu press, I'm going to unscrew the lid. It'll spring up. There's that spring. That slides off. I already drained this once this morning, so it's not bad. I am going to do this over a towel in case there's a lot of liquid. Hopefully there won't be. And I don't have a sink down here. There we go. So all you're doing is sandwiching your tofu between these little aired holy plates. Pat that dry. And you have perfectly pressed tofu. Look at that. And now what I'm going to do is just cut it up into cubes. I usually cut it in half. Thickness wise first. Don't have to be perfect. I try to keep it even, but sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Cut it in half again. Just cubes, whatever size cube you're comfortable with. I'd like to know how everyone cleans mushrooms. Just brush them off or rinse them. I read you shouldn't get them wet. I've done both, LM, so if you're not supposed to get them wet, I have, and I'm still here. Brenda likes to wipe hers down with a damp paper towel. You can do that, especially if they're really, really muddy. I typically put mine in like a colander, and I just rinse the heck out of them, and I rub them in case there's any mud stuck on, and let them drain. That's how I do it. Sometimes I dry them off a little bit with some paper towels. I've done it the other way where you wipe each one. That's fine for 3 or 4 big mushrooms, but when you got a whole bunch, that takes a while. Our soup is simmering. So why do they call it hot and sour? Well, we can add the sour part right now, which is... Oh, I forgot to add the hoisin too. I'm going to go ahead and add this now. I should have added this before. Hoisin is going to add some sweetness. There we go. And a lot of sodium. Be careful with the sodium. I'm using tamari, so it's gluten-free. It's also low sodium tamari. There's the tamari. You could use coconut aminos. But here's the sour part, which is about 3 tablespoons of rice vinegar. 1, 2, 3. That's why they call it sour. The heat, the hotness, comes from the white pepper. And that's why it's a key ingredient. So those mushrooms are shrinking down. That's good. I'm going to add some more of these other mushrooms. And they'll shrink down as well. I know to wipe them, but most times I just rinse and rub and then lay out and blot on a towel and let them sit out for a while to dry. Exactly, mom, caregiver, that's what I do. I rinse mine individually underwater. It takes forever. I rinse them all together. Sometimes in the same little cardboard box that they're in. I'll just peel the plastic off, fill them with water. They can get kind of muddy, but that's B12, right? Everyone says we need some B12 in our diet. So I added the mushrooms. I'm going to drop in some tofu cubes. Again, you can make these as small, as large as you want. Tofu is kind of a key ingredient. And guys, you'll be surprised. This tastes every bit as good as some fancy restaurant hot and sour. When me and Rhonda, my wife, used to go out and eat, and we went to an Asian restaurant, she would always get the egg drop soup. I'm not a fan of eggs at all, so I will always get the hot and sour. And you know me, I love spicy anyway. So yeah, it was perfect. We'll save those. Trying to get my mess organized here. I got that over here and that over here. Perfect. So I've had a lot of hot and sour soups, and this tastes every bit as good as theirs. Hey Gary, welcome. Can't wait to try this. I remember it my dining out days. Lots of people like this recipe. Me, Ma. A lot of people. Lisa says, using the kitchen towel to clean mushrooms works well. Get the towel damp. Lay it on the counter. I'm going to copy this. Put mushrooms on top. Cover with a towel and wipe. I think those are a different type of mushroom, Mima. Those black strips that would normally be in hot and sour soup. They use a different type of mushroom that I can't find, and I'm not going to drive all over town to find. I think they're called wood ear mushrooms. How are we doing with people? We got 38 people online. Wow, welcome everyone. Do me a favor, 43. Do me a favor and click on that like button if you like this. It helps YouTube and the algorithm puts this out in front of people who need it, who want to learn how to cook simple recipes like this. All my recipes I try to make with ingredients that everybody can find and has. I don't always do so well, but I try to. So that's why I'm using shiitake mushrooms and just regular portobellos. Oh, it's wonderful for leftovers. It really is. This will make about 6 to 8 bowls, depending on how big a bowl you use. In fact, I'll get a bowl out so we can ladle some out. That's a cute little bowl right there. Thank you, Mark. They are wood ear mushrooms. Ranch 99. I like the buttons better. So this is optional. If you want a little spice to your soup, if you know what this is, and believe it or not, guys, this is from before COVID. This is the original Hoi Fong chili garlic paste. This is not the new recipe. This is the old stuff from before they had their little sriracha shortage. And you couldn't find any of this in the store. I'm just going to add a little. I'll do this so you can see how much I'm adding. Just a little, like half a teaspoon. It adds a little bit of spice. And I'm going to turn my heat down. And we're just about ready, I think. These mushrooms have cooked. They're getting smaller and smaller. As mushrooms cook down, they release their own water, liquid, out of them. And that adds to the broth. The last thing I want to do, I might just do it in this. And not dirty that up. To thicken it up a little bit, I got a couple tablespoons of cornstarch right here. You can use arrowroot, you can use potato starch, you can use whatever you have. You gotta have a little mini whisk though. It's important. A couple tablespoons of water. I'm gonna make a slurry. And when you add this slurry to the soup, it'll thicken right away. Doing good on time. Yeah, it's usually 1 to 1. 1 tablespoon of cornstarch or arrowroot to 1 tablespoon of water. Make a little slurry. Pour that in while it's boiling. And it'll thicken up a little bit. And that, my friends, is it. That's the whole recipe. You can add other stuff to this if you want. If you like seaweed, you could add a little bit of kombu. Maybe some shredded nori sheets if you like that seaweed type flavor. You could shred some spinach or kale if you want to add some greens. These are not traditional hot and sour soup add-ins, but hey, it's your soup. Do what you want with it, right? Don't need the water anymore. And my green onion tops. I had about 3 green onions I chopped up last night. Wow, we went from 40-something people down to 17. Oh well. I think that's the most I've seen at one time, though. This is incredibly smelling good, guys. It really is. All right. Bet my Chinese cabbage would be good in that. I will try. I wouldn't add a lot, but yeah, by all means add some. Any kind of green you want. They all ran off to make the soup. I doubt that, but maybe. So for Lisa and Brenda, I'm looking out my window here. We're all on the west side of the United States and the west coast. I'm seeing the wind come up, so it's going to get stormy, guys. Brenda says that's right. They're making soup. Yeah. And it will thicken a little bit more as it cools. So I'm going to turn this off and call it officially done. Doesn't that look good? Normally in a restaurant, you would have one of these soup spoons, Asian style soup spoons. I got yelled at when I first bought this. I think I bought this for the first time I made hot and sour soup. It's made out of bone, so it's not vegan. I got yelled at, so I apologize. I'm not going to throw it away though. And I think I have 2. But this is the traditional spoon for using or eating hot and sour soup. Beautiful blue New Mexico skies. Oh, rub it in, Carol. That deep, deep blue. I've never seen that color blue anywhere else. I'll let this cool just a minute, and I'll have a sip. I'm sure it's good. This is one of Rhonda, my wife's favorite soups too. I'm going to add a few of these on top. And they say our food is boring, right? I don't know. I disagree. Brenda's already done her walk, so bring on the weather. I'll try that little mushroom right there. Oh, I love shiitakes. Yeah. It's going to be crazy hot, I know. It's so good. So if you're gluten-free, this is perfect. If you use tamari. Tamari is gluten-free. Soy sauce is not. All right. Other than this, there's no wheat in anything. Let me check the hoisin. And you don't have to use the hoisin. Sugar, water, soybean, salt, sweet potato, sesame seed, garlic. Oh, there is wheat flour in the hoisin. Okay. So you don't have to use the hoisin, or you can try to find a gluten-free hoisin. So this does have wheat in it, guys. Sorry. But the rice vinegar is gluten-free. The sambal, chili garlic, that's gluten-free. And other than the tofu, very low in fat. Salt may be a problem for some people. I'm using that 28% less sodium tamari. You could use coconut aminos, and that would reduce the salt quite a bit. There's also a ton in that hoisin, so if you're not going to use the hoisin sauce, that'll remove a lot of salt. The sky here is Pacific Northwest gray. That's its own color. And I've seen that color a lot. Alright, so I'm going to ladle some out so you guys can see. And that will conclude our little cooking demo. Do I have a better angle? Maybe? How's that? Very bright and blown out color-wise. I got the window open. We'll do it like this. So if you live here in Oregon and you're in the Portland area, come on by. I got soup. We'll swap stories. There you go, guys. Hot and sour soup. Very simple, very easy, very, very, very tasty, very inexpensive too. Hope you like it. It's part of that bundle in my ebook. If you want the ebook, let me know. If you want the bundle, it's down below. Rather have my cookbook, it's down below there too. And I did add the community group link. A lot of us are in a private community group. We meet every single morning, Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock. And we cook and we talk and we do stuff. We read books together. I guess the next one, Lisa's looking like fiber fueled. It looks like Dr. Grieger's How Not to Age got voted out. It's a long book, it really is. So I understand. If you'd like to join us, links down below. We have a lot more than just the book club. We do challenges, we have recipes, of course. We have just a helpful group of people to help people who are brand new and have no idea what they're doing or where to start. That's what we're for. We answer questions best we can and just give us a place to go and hang out every morning, like having coffee. They say from Dr. Ornish that having that connection, that human connection, that community, the love more part is very, very important. So we provide that with our support group. We'd love to have you join us, and links down below. You guys have anything else you want to ask me before we go? Anything at all? Don't forget, if you're in the Oregon area, I'll be in Hillsboro, Oregon, at Renko tomorrow. I put the link down for Northwest Veg below, northwestveg.org. And the potluck starts at 5. I start talking at 6. Lisa says she would like to read How Not to Age, but need to figure out a reading schedule that will work for the group. Yeah, you know what my reading schedule is like. Not good. I try, I really do, but yeah, last night I didn't get turned in till about 11. We didn't get home from the game till about 9, and I still had to prep for all this. So, yeah, not a lot of time to read. I'm going to look into Audible, though. I think that might be my answer. Anything else, guys? If not, thank you all for coming. Let me know how you like it, Mima. I think you will. It's really good. You don't have to make it spicy. Oh, that's right. Good reminder, Lisa. Don't forget tonight's spring ahead time for some of us. I'm not sure if everybody springs ahead or not. Oh, now the sun's coming out and it's making everything all washed out. Close my curtains a little bit. Yeah, we spring ahead tonight. This was the time when I worked, when I was still employed in the factory, that I looked forward to. Because I worked nights. I hated working nights. It was really, really hard on my body. So you can imagine you've worked from 7 o'clock at night, and all of a sudden it's 2 o'clock in the morning, but wait, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. And it's like, we get to go home an hour sooner. It was so sweet. And even though we only physically worked like 11 hours instead of 12, we got paid for 12, which was nice. But in the fall, it was the opposite. That was horrible. Because you're dead tired. You went in at 7 o'clock. Here it is, 2 o'clock in the morning. No, wait, it's 1 o'clock. And you got another hour, 13-hour days. Let's see. Oh, yes, tomorrow afternoon at 12 Pacific on Chef Julia's YouTube channel, she will be interviewing me, and we'll be talking about the bundle. So if you know who Chef Julia is, she also has a contribution to the bundle. She has a Japanese cookbook that looks really, really interesting. I downloaded that myself. But she is popular on Chef AJ's show, and she's a vegan food blogger and coach. And I'll be on her show tomorrow at noon with everything else I'm doing tomorrow. So it should be interesting. I have a bottle of hoisin sauce that expired in 2021. Still sealed, okay to use or not? If it's still sealed, I don't personally think it would be bad. Anybody else want to chime in? I'm no expert on this. But, you know, the sniff test is always the safest way. Open it, take a sniff, see what it smells like. Dab a little bit on your tongue. If it smells okay and tastes okay, it's been sealed all this time. Shake it up really good. Lisa says she would toss it, so that's completely up to you. Probably not a bad idea, because that 3 years is a bit. I just told you what I would do. I don't always make the smartest decisions either, so take that. They're not that expensive for a new bottle. I won't be bored. Oh, with all my crazy hectic schedules? No, I'm not bored. Not at all. Today is finishing up that presentation. I think I'm up to 30 something slides right now. And then starting on my next recipe and getting the pictures. So Brenda would use it, Kara would use it, but she's going to toss it. And that's perfectly safe thing to do. When in doubt, throw it out. You can never go wrong with that. All right, we're at quarter till. Thank you all for coming. To my support group folks, I will see you Monday morning. Thanks for joining me here on this Saturday. For all of you YouTube folks, thanks for coming. Hope you liked what you saw. Hope you come back. We cook up something new every single week. They'll be in the same section of the grocery store as your regular mushrooms. And they're usually sliced. I've seen them whole, but they're usually sliced in the grocery store. If you go to a place like Whole Foods, maybe Trader Joe's, I'm not sure, you might find the whole ones, but the slice is fine. And they usually come in a smaller package. So instead of an 8-ounce box, you'll find like a 4-ounce box or a 6-ounce box. I did not destem mine because there wasn't any really big giant stems on them. If you get the big portobellos that have a big long stem, you want to cut those off and save them for something else. Some people like the stems in their soup, some people don't. If you do cut them off, you can just chop them really fine, add them to the soup. That would be fine. You can also find shiitakes dried. And if you use the dried ones, there won't be much in a package. It's a very, very small package, but you would add water to them and let them rehydrate first. And then toss them in your soup and chop them up. Everything here I was able to find at my local either Safeway, Walmart, or Fred Meyer. The tofu, the shiitakes, the regular portobellos, the broth, of course, the hoisin, the rice vinegar, the tamari, the white pepper. Everything should be really easy to find in any grocery store. Now, if you have a little country grocery store that's got 2-3 aisles, maybe not. Then Amazon's your friend. This tofu press, though, is really handy. If nobody's ever tried it, Brenda likes it. It's dishwasher safe. It can be tricky getting the tofu in there. Hopefully there's no liquid in here. There is. Of course there is. But what you do with the tofu, when you cut it out of the package, put this on top of the tofu, right? And then with this sitting on top of the tofu, nice and centered, by the way, put more water. Put this on top, push the tofu in this, and then turn it over, and then put the other one on top. That way you get it nice and centered. And then you put this on. If you don't get it centered, what happens sometimes when you're pressing, instead of pushing down nice and parallel, it'll be like this. So you'll have a tofu that's pressed like this thickness on one side and this on the other. So you want to try and get that centered as best you can. All right, guys. If there's nothing else, I will see you guys, most of you, Monday morning. Look for my brand new blog post tomorrow morning. I think you're going to like it. And if there's going to be a recording of the Northwest Veg presentation, I'll find out and I'll share it with you. All right? Oh yeah, and Chef Julia tomorrow afternoon at noon. Thanks for coming. I'll see you later. Have a great day. I see sun. Go enjoy it while you can. Bye, guys. Take care.